So I have this problem where like I buy books way too much. Like I love books. I love buying books and I get really excited about books, so I buy them way faster than I can read them. And sometimes that means the books stay on my shelves for years and I'm not interested in them anymore. But I make myself keep them and at least try to read them so that it's like a consequence, you know? Like if I'm going to be buying books this often, I need to live with the consequences. I need to read the books that I buy for the most part. So today I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the books that are on my shelves that I do not think I'm going to like, that have either been there for so long or that I outgrew, whatever the case. Just books that I honestly do not want to read and that I don't think I'll like. So let's get to it. The first book I've got is Harper Lee's Ghost at a Watchman. This is the sequel To Kill a Mockingbird, or it takes place with the same characters. I'm not exactly sure how they're related. I know it's the same characters. I bought this book as soon as it came out. It was really hyped at the time. People were really excited about it. And I remember reading maybe 10 pages, and they had made Atticus Finch be really racist or something, and I never picked it up again. And I've made myself keep it, because I bought it at Barnes & Noble when it first came out. So this book was like what, $27. Why did I do this, you know? Fucking hell. So I have to keep it. I have to read it at some point. Do I know what it's about? No. Am I interested in reading it? No. I'm also pretty sure this came out after Harper Lee's death, and that's something that I feel weird about, like when a famous artist in some sense dies and then the people who take over her estate put out unfinished stuff or stuff that they never wanted to be put out just to make profit. I think that's kind of icky. So yeah, I don't want to read this one. Then we have another book that I've just 100% outgrew, and that is Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. This is a collection of short stories by a lot of like popular YA authors. You got like Leigh Bardugo, Marie Lu, Jay Kristoff, you get the idea. And they're all supposed to be like short little like horror stories, I guess. When I was first watching BookTube in like 2015 or something, people were talking about this book. I thought it was the coolest thing. I wanted it so bad. I found it on Book Outlet one day and I jumped at the chance to get it, and it's been on my shelf ever since. And I haven't even thought once about picking it up. Now I'm at the point where I'm pretty sure I'm just not gonna like this at all. I've outgrown YA, not fully, I still read every now and then, but for the most part I don't read any young adult fiction, and I'm not interested in a bunch of short stories from a bunch of YA authors. So this is another one. I mean, all of these are books that I'm not interested in, but this is another one that's just like, oh, why'd you buy the hardcover? Why'd you do this? But who knows, maybe, like, I do like horror, I do like some YA, so maybe this one isn't as bad as I think it'll be. Okay, this next one is, like, funny to me, personally. Sweeney Todd? Why did I buy this? Like, this isn't even a book, this is a play. Why did I think that I would want this? I don't even like Sweeney Todd, the movie, that much, but for some reason, I bought the script. This is another one I've had for way too long. Not once have I ever, like, thought about picking it up. Even after I bought it, I didn't, like, want to read it. For some reason, I just wanted, I don't know who Sabrina of 5 years ago was, and I'm not proud of her choices. After that, we've got Steppenwolf by Herman Hesse. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say anything. This book, I don't have any idea what it's about. I bought this book because I was planning on taking a summer class, like, 3 years ago, and I bought all the books for it, and I ended up not taking the class, but I bought them used so I couldn't return them. So that's why I have this on my shelf still. I've actually heard some people, like, tweeting about Herman Hesse, so maybe this one could actually be a hidden gem, but I have not, again, not once have I wanted to pick this up or even learn more about it. The first sentence on the back says, Harry Haller is a sad and lonely figure, a reclusive intellectual for whom life holds no joy. I like reading about sad girls more than I like reading about sad guys, so another red flag for me personally, but who knows? Maybe this will be a hidden joy. Kinda doubt it though. Then I've got The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This book goes into, it's like the story of nobody. So if you've seen the movie Caroline, like nobody is in that movie, but he's not originally in the book Coraline, not Caroline. Oh my god, who am I? Anyway, this is supposed to be his story, and it's a completely different book. I bought this years ago. I do know, however, that it's middle grade, So that kind of prevents me from picking it up because I'm not the biggest fan of middle grade. Like, this more simplistic writing style kind of bores me in the end. So that's the reason I haven't picked this up. I think that, honestly though, out of all the books in this little pile I have beside me, this is probably the one I have the most interest in. Like, I like Neil Gaiman, and I'm still somewhat interested in this, but I'm also worried that I'm just not going to like it because it's a middle grade book. But maybe that's a me problem, and maybe I need to get over myself and just pick it up. Life of Pi by Jan Martel. I don't know. I don't even know what I was thinking. This book has been on my shelf longer than any of these, actually. I got this book, I must have been like 13 at a thrift store. And I picked it up because it was Life of Pi, and I was like, I know of that book. I've heard of that book. I don't know what it's about, but I picked it up because in my head it was like some sort of classic, and it does say on here that it was winner of the Man Booker Prize, so good for it, but I don't want to read this. I have no interest in this. I don't know what it's about. A God-loving boy and the son of a zookeeper has a fervent love of stories and practices. I don't know. It says something about religion. I don't know what it's about. I'm not interested in it at all. But it's here. And one day I'm gonna have to make myself pick it up. This next one is actually a really recent buy, so just like double shame on me, you know? Like, I can't blame past Sabrina, because this is Sabrina like not even of a full year ago. And she picked up Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. I don't know why I picked this up in hindsight. I feel like I picked it up just because I saw it a lot. I have been wanting to get into more literary fiction, and I feel like I just saw this book like online a lot, and it was popular. In my head, I think it's a thriller. No, doesn't sound like a thriller. It says a landmark novel about marriage, power, and perception. Okay. The other thing is I actually tried picking this up a couple months ago, and I was really bored by like the first couple pages, and I put it down and I lost all will to ever pick it up again. But again, this one's even worse because I bought it so recently, so why do I do this to myself? Like, it doesn't make sense. And the last book today is Wolfskin by Juliette Marillier. Now, here's the thing. This one I at least didn't buy myself, so I at least don't have to have a guilty conscience for that. My sister was getting rid of books, and I picked this up because I love Juliette Marillier. I love the book Daughter of the Forest. It's one of my favorites of all time. But the thing with this author is that I love Daughter of the Forest. I love the first book most of all, but the first 3 in that Seven Waters series are good. There's a couple other ones that are good, and then after that, I feel like every other book has just not been good at all. So that's what I'm worried about for this one. I'm not sure if it's old enough that like it was still part of her good book writing days, but it's also it's about Vikings, and it follows a male main character, and all of the Juliette Marillier books that I've read have been like female-centric fantasies, which I think really works with her style and her like lyrical writing, so I'm worried about this one. And I don't think I'm gonna like it. Yeah, but maybe this one will surprise me because, again, I do like some of her older books. So here's fucking hoping. Okay, so there you go. Those are some books that I think I'm gonna hate. And this is my punishment to myself. And this is a reminder to myself to not fucking pick up so many books all the time. And I also think it might be fun to do like a little challenge where I make myself read books that I think I'm going to hate. So if you think that would be interesting, let me know. Yeah, that's all for today. Goodbye.